Welcome guys to the first episode of The Big Negative. I'm Daniel and today we are going to find out if I messed up my very first roll of Cinestill 800T or everything went as planned, so stay tuned. If you shoot film long enough, you somehow heard of this film or certainly seen a picture of it. I have always wanted to try Cinestill because I really love the look. The film has an ASA of 800 with white banks for tungsten lights and the highlights have the typical retilations. For this night shoot I used a good old boring Canon A1. However, it is well suited for this type of photography because it has an electronically controlled shutter that can stay open for up to 30 seconds. If you have forgotten your RAW release, you can select a self timer between 2 or 10 seconds. I used the cheap Canon FD 35-105 with an aperture of 3.5 to 4.5, which has a little trick in its sleeves. It's so bad that it looks like it has a built-in diffuse filter like a Tiffin Pro Mist or Moments in the Bloom. Check it out, blooms like a pro. Metering was also nerve-wracking. The meter of the A1 is not usable because of the center-weighted metering. If there's a bright light in the scene, the camera will definitely underexpose the image. The Iconic 308 cannot be trusted either, as the ratio between light intensity and ambient brightness differs with each light. But there's another problem. In my town there's nothing you typically shoot with the Cinestill except gas stations. No neon lights, no big store signs, no vintage cars, no cool mid-century architecture. So I had to work a bit hard to find something to photograph. So, without further ado, let's grab some nice hot coffee and let's go! So, we start in the parking lot, where I want to photograph the beautiful lit exterior of a bakery. We continue to an industrial part of the city called Train Harbor. There are many old buildings and train carriages all around. To hit the focus at night with a lens that has an aperture of 3.5 is absolutely terrible and not recommended. For the most of the day I just guessed the metering. In the beginning I used a digital camera to measure how long I had to expose the image. In the end I exposed at an aperture of 6.4 with 2 seconds, or if it was darker with 4 seconds. And this was the point where everything could gone wrong. But luckily it didn't. In this picture you can see wonderfully how the lens provides the light with an extreme diffuse effect. And I really love it. pictures I had guessed were correct or not. However, there was no picture that was underexposed. Also the negatives were dense enough. The great thing about Cinestill is that even things you've seen hundreds of times can look completely different. I have walked this alley so many times, but it has never felt like in this one picture. See for yourself in the video what a difference it makes to photograph the scene with Cinestill. This bell tower with its light leaks almost looks like it's been attacked by aliens. I've never seen such light leaks anywhere before. If you ever had similar light leaks or know where they are come from, then please write it in the comments. What also makes Cinestill so interesting is that every bright light turns red. So in the darker areas you get an alternation between blue and green, and then on top the red accents. Like the other day, I just kept on guessing the exposure. However, this image is underexposed and the foreground could not be saved in Lightroom, but this emphasized the person in the picture really well. In case you are wondering where my cable release is, it broke the other day, like any good Cinestill video demands. I should have waited here until the people were a little further ahead. It is always a bit difficult to estimate with a 2-second delay. When looking through the pictures, I had the feeling that ASA 800 is way too high. I exposed with ASA 400 and that was already close to the limit of this film. So if you're on the road, give the film a bit more light rather than too little. The first photo I took completely without people, but I wanted to have a photo with people for a size reference, so we are playing the waiting game. A big shout out to my good friend Alex, who wrote a song especially for this video. I really like this song and I would be happy if you would check out his channel. Info's in the info box. If you liked the video, then like, share and subscribe. This would help the channel a lot. If you have any questions about the film or want to describe your own experiences with Cinestill, do it in the comments down below. I'm looking forward to all of your feedback. Until next time, bye.